Hey guys, we're back with another tutorial today. We're going to be making a shark jawbone bracelet, so let's get started. So of course, to make this bracelet, we're going to need some paracord. We've got about 10 feet of each of these colors. We won't need all of that, but I always like to be safe and start with a bit extra. Of course, we also will need a lighter and a pair of scissors, and then I have a 1/2 inch black buckle that I'll be using. I'm also going to use a jig. You don't need the jig, but it is really nice to have something to hold your buckle secure while you're weaving so you can get a nice tight weave. One thing I've done in the past is just use some spare paracord on another buckle, and then you can anchor that to basically anything. So now let's get this all set up and get started. So the first thing we're gonna have to do is meld this paracord together. If you're not familiar with melding, you just get the two ends of the paracord nice and hot. Careful not to burn yourself. And then stick them together. And then be very careful to roll it in your fingers, not just press your fingers on because you'll burn it. And then you got a nice meld there. Next thing we're gonna have to do is get this hitched onto our buckle. So if you don't know how to do a cow's hitch, we do have a video on that. But essentially, you're going to go in from the top and then around the buckle. I like to get my meld in the middle of the cord so it's covered by the rest of the project. So we have our cow's hitch secured on the one end of the buckle. Now the other end we have to get on to our setup here. So we're gonna go from the top down into the buckle. Now I'm using the 1/2 inch, so I'm just gonna double up this paracord and slide it through the top. If you're using a smaller buckle, you might have to go to the ends of the paracord and slide them through. That'll work just as well. This works a bit easier for me. So now we have those on. Let me secure the paracord to the jig. Pull it tight. I'm gonna separate these strands so it's a bit easier. And now we have our setup paracord. We're gonna start the weave now. I'm gonna start with the left-hand strand, which is our colored strand that we're gonna want in the middle of the design. So that goes down and through the middle of our setup. And then the black strand is gonna go through the middle as well below that. Pull through, and then it's also gonna go through that loop that was formed from the first piece paracord. So this is our first knot. Gonna pull it tight there. Now because this is the first knot of the weave, you really want to make sure that gets on there tight so the rest of the weave works well. I like to pull my jig back a little bit to make sure it's nice and taut. And then I'm going to start with the same strand again, go through the middle. Take the other strand underneath and then through the first loop. Tighten that up, and now you can kind of see how it starts to form the pattern there with our colored paracord in the middle and the black on the outside. Let's zoom in for a closer look on that weave. So once again, starting with our cyber paracord, and then the black paracord will go in underneath that and through the loop. As you start to get going with it, make sure you're tightening up as you go along. And then kind of the fastest way I'd say to do it is when you have that second strand, you go under and then through and then pull it all through. Now I'm gonna keep weaving this and then we will come back when I'm about halfway through. Well, hey guys, hopefully the weave's going well for you. Just a quick reminder, you're starting with your inner strand first, going through the middle, all the way through, and then taking the outer strand underneath, through the middle, and then through the loop you formed with the first strand. So it looks like that, and then pull it tight. And then make sure you are pushing up every once in a while. Make sure the knots are landing nicely. I am going to go back to the beginning here and adjust this slightly with a fid to make sure it takes on that shape even better. But as you can see, first couple knots, it looks a little strange, but as you get going, it does start to take shape. Okay guys, so I'm finishing up my last knot here. If you do have a fid, you can take it in and make it as tight as possible. I'm going to finish it there so I can show you guys how to meld the end. We're going to cut off the edge. I like to do it one at a time. Do one side and the other. Just get it a little bit melted. Press it down. Other side. Done with that black cord. Once again. Get it a little bit melted down. Make sure to press it. So now we have our finished shark jawbone bracelet. We ended up using about 6 feet of each of these colors, so I would make sure to have 6 feet of each of them to be safe with that. Please leave a comment if you have any comments for this bracelet, or if there's anything else you'd like us to make. Go ahead and like that video and subscribe if you haven't already, and we'll see you next time.